Friday with more of today, with so many acts of kindness happening around the country. Yeah, from the man who let $1,000 rain down on strangers at the Mall of America to anonymous people leaving enormous tips for servers across the country, over $54,000 and counting.
To the most recent story that surfaced about the late Paul Walker. It seems that 10 years ago, the Fast and Furious star was in a jewelry store where he overheard a soldier and his wife say they couldn't afford the wedding ring she wanted. The couple left, only to be called back by a store employee.
When we walked in, the clerk came out holding the bag and saying, "Here's your ring." It was bought and paid for in full. And I just utter amazement and gratitude, sheer gratitude.
That is such a lovely thing. And with his passing, the couple and store employees wanted people to know about his good deed. So what makes people want to perform random acts of kindness for others? And does it cause others to pay it forward,
Here to answer those questions are psychologist Dale Atkins and Laura Schroff. She's the author of a great book called An Invisible Thread.
That Hoda and I both love.
We sure did. So, Dale, this is one of those things. I have to say, when I watch a piece of video like we've been showing, it makes you want to go out and do something.
That's exactly
it triggers it, doesn't it?
It does trigger it, because what happens is we feel what that person feels, and you say, well, if they could do it, I could do it. And you are, even if you're not doing the act of kindness at that moment, your brain is still changing, your heart rate is going to come down, your immune system's going to be strengthened, and you are feeling
in a way,
exactly what happens. The endorphins are released, and you get what's called a helper's high, even if you are watching.
Oh, really?
And Laura, you did that for this young man. You thought it was an initial lovely thing to do when you started to feed him a little bit. Next thing you know, a homeless kid. Next thing you know, I assume everybody knows this book, and I hope they do. He's become a lifelong friend to you, hasn't he?
Yeah, 27 years ago, and you know, when I think about it, it was just a small act of kindness. A young boy was hungry, and I took him to lunch. And before we knew it, we developed a friendship that's lasted over 27 years.
One of my favorite parts of your book was when he wanted, you asked him if he wanted lunch money or if he wanted a bag lunch, and he said, no, I want a bag lunch because I want them at school to know that someone cares about me. Someone packed it for me. I mean, it was so moving.
A friend of mine was walking on the George Washington Bridge just yesterday. Saw a woman very distraught. They were both walking. She got to the top and was about... And my friend was able to talk her out of it and get the police there with her. And can you imagine? There are no coincidences, right?
No. Absolutely.
But your story has triggered so many people to perform acts of kindness. Tell us about a couple of them.
You know, I never could have imagined when the book came out, you know, where it would go and what it would do. But it is a book that is inspirational. And what I am seeing is how people are inspired to want to make a difference. They see that you don't have to save the world, you don't have to empty your bank account, but you can in fact do a simple gesture that can in fact make a difference.
One person's world.
I mean, one of my favorite stories is a young girl, 11 years old. She read the book with her mother. She made me her mitzvah hero. And after visiting with her school, about 2 weeks later, she was driving out of a shopping center and she saw a man with a sign asking for diapers and milk for his child. And she said, I thought about your book, and I made my mom go back to the store and buy diapers and milk for this man. And that simple act of kindness, that gesture, will stay with her
for the rest of her life.
It will stay with her, and it will also stay with the man who was the recipient. And the interesting thing about the contagion of kindness acts is that when you do something for somebody, the person you do it for is likely to do it for 3 or 4 other people. So this keeps multiplying. And when you say that, you know, you may not change the world, you are changing the world. And we are changing the world one act at a time, one person at a time.
And you get hooked, like a high, as you say. Once you do that, it's like going to a soup kitchen. Then you want to do it the next week.
What happens?
Because it just gives you so much more than you give.
That's true. You know, Winston Churchill talked about, he has a wonderful quote, I hope I don't mess it up, and it's, we make a living by what we get, but we have a life. We make a life by what we give. And we have the opportunity to give, and it changes us and changes our world, just as your book is now doing for so many people.
We want to thank you both for being here. It was a perfect topic.
Lovely holiday with your loved ones.
Thank you so much.